Did you get one? Okay. No, I'm saying if I'm trying to run out of water, I was on
Just put that.
The doctor said they were asking me about it, and I told him I would let the neighbors know. So they would know it's about you. But there was.
we had
I know you're so, I know you do that all the time.
Facilities plan by law, input. That's just one of the things to get that money. It's federal. It's not a grant, but it's.
I've got time. I just don't have.
When is it?
It's May 1st.
Is it 6? We turned them.
I've got.
Let me look and see if I can do it.
It is 6 o'clock. If I could get your attention, we're going to call this meeting to order.
And I just got too much.
And we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could ask Allie and Lori Gonzalez to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Y'all can come up closer. Okay, just start when you're ready.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all come up here real quick. I need to give each one of y'all one of the official city pins. Thank y'all so much for coming and doing this for us.
Get away.
Aww.
I hate flying. It was stressing me out the more I thought about it.
May 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Alderman Miller, would you lead our invocation for us?
Thank you, man. Heavenly Father, Lord, we pause first of all before we do anything to tell you thank you for this day, because we realize a day that has been coming that we will never see again, and we just thank you. Then, Lord, we ask you that you would give each and every one of us the right mind to make the right decision for this community, these great citizens. Then, Lord, we ask that you would bless our soldiers wherever they might be, and, Lord, continue to watch over us. Thank you, Lord, for this great city, this great county, this great state, and this great United States. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Alderman Harris is with us remotely, so we have a full board here tonight. Can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda in front of you?
May I like to make changes to the agenda?
Okay.
I would like to move item E to read out to the consent agenda.
Okay.
Then I also like, and this could be at the end, at item 19 on the utility adjustment, have some remarks to make. So we'll do that before we adjourn. I'd like to make those 2 changes to the agenda.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Item 5 is to approve the docket of claim numbers listed on your agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 6 is to approve the minutes from the regular Mayor and Board of Aldermen meeting on March 5th of 2024.
Motion.
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 7 is the consent agenda minus item E.
So move.
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. We will take up item E, which is to authorize Lee Germany to travel to the Gorman Root Pump Factory for the lift station repair class.
I'm in total agreement with you about going to that. But my question is anyone that actually do the maintenance on this equipment, I feel like they need to go to this training because they're the one that got the hands-on. They got to do this job every day, day in and day out. And I think that they should be given the opportunity to go and get that first-hand knowledge as you and others would be able to pass it on to others. So have nothing wrong with you going. Sure. But I think the people that actually do the work need to benefit from their training also. Okay. That's the only
Would you like to add that in addition to him, that one or
Yeah,
two
that's what I'm
technicians could go
saying.
with him?
That's what I'm saying, that's what,
My place, it's a six-seater jet.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay, well, see, that wasn't, there again, you never talked about that there were restraints on how we were going. See, we're not had that knowledge. We're not privy to that knowledge, that it's limited space. You
Gotcha.
gotta say it was limited space, then that takes on a whole different tone.
So we could approve this one for Lee to go, and then in the
if something
future,
else
see if
come
we
up-
could ask for someone
I
else.
have no problem with that, but see, if you had told us earlier that would cost a limited space, I have no problem with that. The only problem I had, the people that doing the hands-on daily was not given the opportunity to go. But with that being said, may I make a motion that we approve?
So motion to approve item E? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 8, I'm realizing after some comments that I may have not put enough information on this item about the approval to accept the donation of the music on the square equipment from the Hernando Chamber. The Chamber is here to talk about it, but they had another set of ARPA funds, and as part of that, they want to put speakers around the square where we will have music available on the square as you walk around the square. There's a whole process to this, but I'll let y'all get up and talk about it.
Yeah, most of what the mayor said is what we would like to do. We did get another set, and we think with the lights going down Panola, that we're close to getting that done, that this would just be an addition to the revitalization that we're trying to do around our square. So we would like to put music around the square.
And Aaron Kozort with Wisdom Integrators is going to give you guys the proposal of what it's going to look like and where the speakers are going to go and all the wireless information. That's above my pay grade, so I'm going to let him handle it.
Hello, I'm Aaron Kozort with Wisdom Integrators. So just a brief presentation. The poles that we're looking at would be the black poles with the lights at the top. The mount would make sure that we would work with both city planning and others to make sure that we don't get in the way of banners that need to go up at different times of the year or anything like that. The system would have a bracket with a strap that mounts around it, and then 2 speakers on each pole. And they would be high enough, they would be out of the reach of pedestrians, they would be out of the way, and there is electricity on the poles already. So there would not be any wiring or construction that is necessary in order to do this. It would just mount up there, plug into power, and then wireless transmission for the entire system. The transmission point would either be from the top of the library or from the rooftop of the Chamber of Commerce building, where the main transmitter would be housed. We are also looking at having a mobile transmitter that could be utilized at events on the square where there may be an event where we want to bring that into the speaker system that's around the square as well. So that's part of the options that exist with this. The poles are identified here as far as the ones that we would be looking at. Cost will evaluate how many poles and then spacing out the sound to where there's an even resonation of the sound as you walk through the square. Also working with businesses to make sure that if they have, like AC has outdoor speakers already where they have music playing, we wouldn't want to interfere or walk on top of their outdoor space. So working with those. So these are the optional poles based upon cost and opportunity. Open for questions.
And I think the reason they have to come before the board, obviously, is they're going to mount on our poles. I think they'll come with a 2-year warranty, is that correct?
So we're looking for and planning on the hardware coming with a 5-year warranty, and included within the cost of the project a 2-year contract where my company or whoever gets the bid would cover any support needs or anything like that included within the cost of that 2-year contract that's paid ahead of time by the ARPA grant.
And this is approximately how much money in donation, and how much is this How much of y'all's ARPA funds are you expending on it?
The ARPA grant was $61,400. And after the 2 years, that's when it will be the city's responsibility to handle all the things that go with it.
If they go bad, yeah.
Yeah, and we think we have enough money that where we can order 2 extra speakers and just keep on hand in case lightning strikes or equipment fails, that we'll have at least 2 speakers to offset any type of, repair or maintenance cost. Do you have anything else?
What questions does the board have?
So the music, is there a service that you pay for the music?
There's a service both for the licensing to be able to do public broadcast of the music. That would be included in the contract on an annual basis and be part of the support contract.
But I think the actual music, isn't there like a Pandora channel that plays square music, or downtown music? Or?
There's what am I trying to say? There's a playlist and there's opportunities for us to be able to pull together things, but there's also theme options that we could, Christmas time, it could be Christmas music. Different, night times or different themes, 4th of July, it could be patriotic. There's different things that we would have access to within that subscription to make sure that, different city events are accommodated for what they may want by way of the approach.
Any other questions or concerns?
Is there any kind of messaging that you can put out there with it? Like we have, Dickens of a Christmas going on. Hey, Santa Claus is at the courthouse from this time to this time or whatever.
The management system does allow for the integration of additional playback options, either live audio going in or scheduled recorded things like messages like along that lines.
Jody, what's y'all's timeline for this?
We have to submit, I think we've submitted our narrative to the state, and we have until April 1st to get that in, and then May, they approve it, and then in June, they're going to disperse the funds. So we're kind of crunched for time. That's really on the state side, not us, because we've been working on this, I think, since last year, and we kind of ran out of money with the first round of funds, so we just put this one on the end because it was so detailed and we needed some more information.
And are y'all thinking just like regular business hours or and weekends?
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't interfere with the city ordinance sound problem. We'll make sure of that, but the city can also use it for the farmer's market, the Dickens of a Christmas, and then the Sunset on the Square will be a good benefit as well.
Y'all, I don't know, most of y'all have probably been to cities. I was exposed to it when we were walking through Greenwood, and it just, it changed the whole environment, having the light music around you. Made you want to buy stuff.
It does, it does, yeah, it changes the mood, you're exactly right.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's a great idea.
We're so excited to be able to just give this to the city, so we're, not me, we have a committee that's been handling this, and he's out of town, so I'm here as a representative, but they have all worked very hard to make sure that we have crossed our T's and dotted our I's.
Well, Siboney and Jody, I appreciate y'all as the board, and Dr. Morton's work as well for doing things that help the chamber and help the city of Hernando, because we are in a tight partnership, and spending those funds on things like this really help all the citizens, and we appreciate it.
And then, as we always say again, I tell Smiley over there that it's so refreshing to see our executive director at our meeting without a request, just come out and support what we are doing, and that means volume, especially to me as a board member. You know, when I look out and see it, I said, well, she ain't asked for nothing today, I mean, it really is. It's refreshing that when people attend your meeting, they're not requesting something. They just come and support what we're doing, so we appreciate what the chamber is doing.
Can I have a motion to accept the donation?
Mayor, before we do that, I do have one comment, please.
Yes, sir.
If I understood correctly, there'll be a transformer or some kind of device that'll be mounted on top of either the library or the chamber house offices.
That's correct.
My suggestion would be the library, just thinking ahead, but that someday the chamber may outgrow that house building now, and I'm just thinking if that happens, we would have to relocate that transformer to some other location possibly. So just a thought. I think the library would be a more secure, long-term solution.
I think Jody's going to address that.
Yeah, we have to go before the Board of Supervisors for that, and that was not able to get on their Monday meeting. So we're just waiting on them to either call a special meeting or get us on their next agenda to approve that. Is that correct? Okay.
Doc, were you able to hear that? No. So they are asking, they're going to go before the Board of Supervisors to ask for that permission at the library. They just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay, thank you.
That would be ideal.
Okay.
But, and my question, I guess everything has got pros and cons, so this is my other question about that. Accessibility, when you go into somebody else's building, then your accessibility is based upon their hours and their timeline. So if something happens, we need to get and do something with that, then we got to contact the library, get them or somebody to come in to be able to assess that. I mean, can that be done remote? I know we said we're gonna have a remote system that we could use, but I'm looking at the permanent one that, that's a concern for me versus having something that you have access to yourself. You control the key, when in and when out.
So recognizing that to be an issue, one of the things is the system is designed with remote management, and that's part of the contract is we would have remote management of the system, of the playback, and then we would also have the remote transmitter. So we would have two methods whereby if there was a critical situation where we needed the system up to be broadcasting something, we would have the primary being remote access even if the library is closed, which we would not need to be on their network. They've already okayed the path whereby we would do that. But then we would also have the remote transmitter where we could take the system independent of the library and operate it for a period of time.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 9 is the personnel docket. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 10 is the donations docket.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Item 11 is one of the things that Alderman Miller asked us to start doing, and I appreciate that. So this will be our second time to present a community service award, and the winner is Dean Darnell. So I think everybody knows what Dean does. He gives all the time. He works at Sonic and runs Sonic, and he and Sonic have been partners to this city forever. Just the other day, he was able to provide free food to our firemen when they were fighting the fire at the Hampton. He gives food to the Mayor's Youth Council. He gives in ways we don't even know. But we appreciate you always standing up and donating to everyone, the schools, everything you do for the city of Hernando.
Thank you.
And can I give you this award? Sure. It's just a small token that you can hang on your wall, but we just want you to know that we appreciate you. And Alderman Miller's about to add to it.
Oh, no, I ain't finna tell I said, get that camera
I'm getting the camera, okay.
There's a photograph
Let's get a picture then.
Yeah.
This one of them Kodak moments. This positive stuff. Y'all come on up here. You just group up here with your dad.
Hey, Austin, take an official picture. Oh, no, we got, never mind, Nestor's getting an official.
No, you're good.
Smile, Dean.
How do you get that Kodak moment? Is that right? We want to push all this kind of positive thing, you know.
Item 12 is the approval of the agreement with Civil Link for roadway network evaluation and maintenance improvements plan for a fixed fee of $46.5 and for me to sign if y'all approve it. Y'all had asked me and Lee and Joe Frank to explore getting a road maintenance plan together like Civil Link had done for us in the past. We had lunch with them, and what they have now is better than what we had before. So if you'd like to come up and present very quickly, that'd be great. And y'all each got a little packet in front of you.
We'll make it quick. We're glad to be here to present this to you about reevaluating those roads. We have, since last evaluating those roads, we've done close to 8,600 miles across the state and nearby states. That's what we've completed. To date, we've probably done closer to 10,000. We have, over the years, been refining the process, making very small changes and improvements. One of our largest improvements is developing an app to better help implement the plan. It is an app that will not only help plan your year-to-year improvements plan, but also to help prepare your budgets. You can quickly select and figure out your budgets for each road and modify your plan quickly with the app. I'll have Barrett give a full-blown presentation. It's going to be very quick, but just hit the high points. If y'all have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thanks, Nick.
Hey, Board. I want to go through a quick program history, then get into our process real brief, and show.
And Garrett, if you don't mind, if you could speak in the mic so Alderman Harris can hear.
Okay, better?
Yes.
I want to quickly go through the program history, do another intro to our process, just a review, and then show a few clips of the software. About 6 years ago in 2018, we did the initial survey, and after that survey, the city did incorporate some of the preservation treatments recommended in the plan, mainly crack seal and microsurfacing, and the city's done some double treatments, so a micro overlay combo. Those are preservation treatments, help to extend your road life without having to do a more expensive overlay. But since then, we've had a few harsh winters, traffic changes, whether construction or subdivisions, industries, things like that come in. And then inflation overall has gone up. So with the resurvey, we'll present a whole new condition snapshot current to today with updated costs and road work lists. And then we also do a strategy assessment. Since it's a resurvey, we can look at what's been done since our initial survey, how the ratings have changed, and we put sort of a report card together in the report itself to present. Our process is divided into three main phases. Evaluation and planning are Civil Link's side, and implementation moves into the city's hands. And with evaluation, we do a windshield survey. It's on the PACER scale, which is a 1 to 10 rating scale. We take all that, we video survey the whole, all the city roads. We take all that back in our office, process attributes. We do a QA/QC on the video ratings themselves to make sure we agree with what the surveyors said in the field. And all that data feeds into our database, which leads to our planning section. And with our planning, we have one-on-one meetings to meet with the city and go through treatments, costs, methods, and other approaches to talk about, putting the plan together because we want it to work for the city. So it's custom at this point. And all that feeds into our report, which is one of our deliverables along with our GIS data and the attribute, the database to work from. And finally, the implementation is where it gets put in your hands, where you decide on how much budget, what you're going to budget each year, and then also how you're going to develop your yearly work lists. And part of the yearly work list development and part of the contract is access to the web tools. You had access to the streets viewer last time with the last survey that we did, but we've also added a new tool. So a quick overview video of this is the street viewer. You can click any road in the city. It'll start playing. Wherever you click, you'll see the marker as it goes down the road. and you'll be able to maximize the video, make it full screen. You can change the speed of the video, pause it, take snapshots. It's good for remote review. So if somebody calls, you can be at your desk in your office and you can open this up and look at a road, see the condition of it. It's also useful for documentation. So FEMA, if you have any disaster recovery requests, they want you to have one of the big keys to that is having a maintenance plan in place and to be active, and also to have imagery and documentation before the disaster and then after the disaster. So this has been used for that, actually.
So can I ask a quick question? So y'all are going to set that up initially, but then we can add our own data to it?
Most of it's built into the program itself, the database, but what we've done is if you do road work on a yearly basis, we can update the data if you just send it to us.
Okay, gotcha.
We basically do that. If you call us and request it, we'll just update the data set. This is the planning tool, which is a new application that we've built that allows you to auto-select roads based on a plan. So the bottom left, there's a bar chart, and you program in how much money you want in each rating category to spend, and then you click a button and it'll auto-select the roads based on the cost benefit, which is like a priority listing. It was in the original report, and it'll fill up the road, that quote bucket, up to that amount of budget item, however much you program in there. And then it also has a spreadsheet component to the right where once you build your plan, you can export that to Excel, which is one of the big things, and you can get bid tables and quantities right in front of you in Excel real quickly. And showing the way to customize those roads. So you can auto-select, but you can also select entire subdivisions at one time, and you can plan these different treatments. You can drag and drop treatments over here to compare pricing. You can fine-tune the patching amount or striping details, so you can really get your bid tab and your quantities together. And it's an easy way to compare an overlay at $125,000. I think the scrub seal was like $93,000. So you can compare treatments as well if conditions change using this. And that wraps it up for the presentation. I wanted to keep it quick, and any questions I'm happy to answer. Nick here too. But it has been useful for, like I said, disaster recovery. Actually, Lauderdale County had a case where a solar plant moved in like 3 months after we did their first survey, and it tore the road up during construction, and they sat them down and showed them the video before, and they agreed to pay for the whole, rebuild of the road. So it does help for disaster recovery, and we've had several counties resurvey, cities also resurvey at this point as well.
Any questions?
Is this an item that can be funded through the sales tax revenue or the sales tax money we get from the?
I'm not positive, and we can find that out before we pay, but we do know that since we're not going to be able to pave the Mackingville this year, there's plenty of money in the general fund that we could pay for this year and shift next year. But I will find out that answer.
I think it's a great idea. I just want to make sure we utilize it. I don't think we utilized the last one properly. I think, in my understanding, it's there on the shelf. If we're going to spend $50,000 of taxpayers' money, I hope we, Lee or whoever looks at it uses it and
Agreed.
gets money out of it, so.
I think it's just hard, like the older the data gets, like the less effective it is, because I think we looked at it our first year. We're looking at a 2018 report. I mean, it wasn't even, we couldn't even necessarily utilize it in any way. Diesel prices and everything else had skyrocketed, and it was like, I think we went on a number 1.2 million per ward, and we'd have everything maintained within 6 years, and that's, just not even close. So that's the only thing with it is I don't know how, I know it's meant for a long-term plan, but it's really more of a snapshot, and I feel like it's something that if you do it, you almost have to do it annually to really have a true program, I mean, is that fair to say, or would y'all disagree with that?
We recommend 3 to 5 years, so generally for a resurvey, but it does, once the data is old, it gets harder to make accurate decisions based on the plan.
And now, one thing that the app does do, talking about with the plan and setting, helping with budgets, the tools that we added do help change that, because like if asphalt prices change, you can go in there and change the asphalt per ton, and boom, all your prices for each road update.
Yes, sir.
So that has helped with that portion of it.
So I don't think we utilized any of those web systems last time.
I didn't even know they existed until just now.
Some of them they just add, just like the where we can update the work we done anytime, and so that'll be a function of Joe Frank and Lee, every time we do roads, to contact them and update, we'll have a up-to-date view every time we look at it.
I think the technology's great, it looks good.
That's what I'm saying, that's something we didn't have before. And we really, if you look at the date that he talked about, when we started the old project,
2018.
18. So, and he's suggesting, 5 years. We're not too far out of that. And the only thing that we were missing, the piece we were missing was being updated. Then them costs that Ben was talking about would have been integrated in there. So when you came on the board, you would have seen some actually real numbers at the present day time. So I think that would alleviate some of the things which is a concern for all of us. But
I feel like every year we've got like a snow or ice event that leads to road damage, and that's the one thing that's year to year is hard to account for that. And I think it's very difficult for us as aldermen to know where every single pothole was created by an ice storm compared to what's in the report. So that's where the challenges are. Additionally, I think there's local knowledge that we as aldermen and city leaders have that is not going to be in there. We know what economic development is coming and that sort of thing. So, it seems like a great tool. It is, it is a cost that was not built into the budget, but the mayor's already, pointed that out with some other funding that we could use potentially.
Any other questions or concerns?
Man, we agreeing too many times, man. Two meetings in a row. But this even though I'm very conservative related to money too, but this in the long run gonna save us money. And if we delay doing it now, we just get further behind the curve. So I think this, and especially leading into our next budget now, and we can have. What's the estimated time of getting this done?
That's about a 3-month turnaround.
3 months turnaround. That'll fit us. That'll
be ready for the next budget.
That'll fit us very well. We'll be making,
July, August, we'll be getting it.
you know what I'm saying? That'll help us tremendously. I like the new program. That's the ability to give y'all information and we can update and you can sit there and look at that thing yourself, man.
These
Out
are
of the road.
all good comments, and I absolutely agree with Alderman Wicker. We do not want to pay for this and leave it on the shelf. It'll be a tool that we use.
It'll work it.
Is there a motion?
Well, real quick, what do our city engineer and public works director, do y'all think this would be good to utilize?
I definitely think it would, just from an aspect of time management, having to ride those roads and stuff, that right there makes it up for me. Frank, I'm sure there's something you'd like to add too.
Yeah, I think so. I think the past study we did, we kind of followed along on that. We know the streets change. Street in a certain condition this year, and 2 years from now, it may have a lot more traffic, a lot more construction traffic and change. That's about the only thing I see on it.
But I think
It makes a difference.
we could update just as well as we updated, we paved something. We got a street that had deteriorated. We can also update that, showing that road is in worse shape now than it was at that time. So it works both ways. We can put in the bad and the good, I would say. So I like the ability to be able to have that, I call it live, a living document.
Yes, sir.
It ain't dead. The other document we had was a dead document. It was before us and you couldn't, Because we asked the price about before changing that dead document. Changing that dead document was kind of high, man. You got to die to get some money. Anyway, though, appreciate it.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
I make a motion to approve the agreement with Civil Link at a fixed fee of $46,500
and authorize you as mayor to sign the agreement. I second that then.
And there's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes.
Thank y'all very much.
We're ready to get to work with you.
Sounds good.
Thank you. And we were talking about the potholes and how those things change. I would encourage y'all, as y'all leave tonight, drive right out here on Elm Street, out the back door behind the fire station, or Martin Luther King Street there, and look at the patch that's been done. That's the new pothole patcher. It did a beautiful patch. It just is really smooth. So we'll be able to take care of those potholes better than we had the ability to before. Moving on to item 13. Austin, would you come up and present?
The first item tonight's PL 1788. The request is for a final plat approval on Joyce Estes First Revision. It's on the north side of Green Tea, east of McInvale, and this is the site of the Fieldhouse development. Jordan Bledsoe is here tonight on behalf of the LLC and the property owner. And the request is to amend an existing 2-lot subdivision into a 5-lot subdivision. The total acreage is 19.84 acres. All lots would have access to Green Tea Road via either the direct right-of-way connection or the ingress-egress easement located in the middle of the lot. I'll talk about that here in just a second. Water and sewer is already available on the site, and the existing zoning is C2. All the setback and bulk requirements of C2 appear to have been met with the proposed subdivision. This was originally heard at the February Planning Commission meeting, and the Planning Commission had some concerns about the existing traffic and parking, and then the flow of traffic through the site. And as a result of that, the applicant provided a narrative and a site plan, which I'll talk about again here in a second, to address some of those concerns. It was reheard at the March Planning Commission meeting and then recommended for approval. As you see on the final plat, the existing Lot 1, which was the majority of the site, is proposed to be subdivided into 4 new lots. The existing Lot 2 is proposed to stay the same. And the main concern of the Planning Commission was the existing parking issues that are ongoing at the site because, honestly, the success of the Fieldhouse and the overflow that's being seen on Green Tea Road, and then the existing traffic that is seen on the primary drive coming in. And so what the applicant's come up with is he did provide a site plan of the new lot. And so on the 4th page of your staff report, you'll see the shaded gray building with the new parking lot. That's the proposed retail center for Lot 3. And so really the purpose of that development is to provide additional parking for the site. And also to address the Planning Commission's concern about traffic flow and pedestrian access, they added a sidewalk on the east side of the road and pedestrian crosswalks to get folks to that sidewalk. And then within the Fieldhouse development, a series of speed bumps and a crosswalk to help flow and funnel traffic to the front door. And with all that being said, the existing drive aisle on the primary ingress-egress easement in the middle is 26 feet wide, which is roughly the width of a road. And so with the width, the pedestrian access, and the speed bumps, the Planning Commission was satisfied with their plan. And so I did provide a proposed motion to approve with all the standard criteria, most of which will not be applicable just because it is already complete out there with the lane and the sidewalk on the frontage. And the applicant, Mr. Bledsoe, is here tonight. I'm available if you have any questions.
Any questions for Austin? Mr. Bledsoe, would you like to talk?
It's covered unless y'all have questions. I'm good.
Any questions for Mr. Bledsoe?
I listened to the Planning Commission. I think they did a really good job of addressing all the safety concerns, so I appreciate their work on that.
Anything else? Alderman Miller?
Make a motion. I'm motion to grant final plat approval for the Fieldhouse subdivision, a 5-lot single commercial subdivision on 19.84 total acres located in the north side of Green Tea Road, west of McInvale Road, and west of Tullahoma Road, section 32, township 2, south, range 7 west, based upon the finding that the submitted plan generally conforms to the requirements of the city codes and ordinance, subject to the following condition that's attached 1 through 8.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Item 14.
Yes, sir. This is PL 1801. The request is for final plat approval of the Harris Minor subdivision on the east side of Getwell, south of I-269. The applicant's Jamie Harris, and is here tonight representing the application. He's requesting final approval of 2 lots and 14.28 acres. His existing 1 lot, as proposed, Lot 1 is 8.92 acres, and Lot 2 is 5.36 acres. And the existing zoning's AR, agricultural residential, and all existing structures on the lot do meet the setbacks and bulk requirement for that zoning. There's no prior frontage on this site, and all required improvements would be subject to MDOT approval as it's located in the access of the 269 interchange. I did ask for a narrative, just kind of the why of the subdivision, and it's a bit of a land swap within the family. So they're trading off some acreage on the back of the property for Mr. Harris's home, so he can have the shops, and the front of the front 8.9 acres is to remain with the dad. I did list all the setbacks, as I mentioned earlier, and there's no provisions for public sewer on the site, but there's no development planned, and so if available, they would be required to tie in. All this, in the proposed motions 1 through 4, it's a bit limited, but with the scope of the subdivision and no public improvements required, that kind of got rid of a whole lot of them. As you can see, I listed an aerial in the property to kind of give a context of what's going where on the property and the proposed plat. The access on the existing driveway is proposed to be deeded, and so we refer to it as a flag lot. The long skinny piece going back out to Getwell Road is where the deeded access for the existing driveway will be, and that's proposed to remain just to get rid of the easement. Mr. Harris is here tonight, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Are there any questions from the board?
If not, I'll make a motion. Motion to grant final plat approval for Harris 2-lot subdivision, a 2-lot residential subdivision consisting of 14.28 acres located on the east side of the Getwell, south of I-269, Section 34, Township 2 South, Range 7 West, based upon a finding that the submitted plat generally conforms to the requirements of the city's code and ordinances, subject to the following standard conditions 1 through 4.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. All right, item 15, Jared, would you like to present the approval to adopt the proposed rules for the Hernando Soccer Complex, the Civic Center, and Kirkendall Fitness Park?
Hey, y'all. So we have a list of proposed rules for all 3 of those complexes. Currently, we don't have any adopted rules listed here. Believe there's been some conversation about the no unauthorized field usage. All usage must be approved in advance. So my thought behind that is unauthorized field usage could fall into 2 different categories. So closed fields due to weather conditions like muddy or whatever the case may be in that, icy. And also for construction and repair. So overseeding soccer fields needs about a month of no activity on it in October, sodding, construction, those sort of things. And then the second category that I'm thinking for unauthorized use would be any games, official games, so no like free play or sandlot or any stuff like that. That would be okay, but I'm talking official games like official referees, official umpires, teams, that sort of thing. Any tournaments or any events that are not under the sponsorship of Hernando Parks and Rec or have been appropriately rented through our office. So those are the 2 categories I'm considering unauthorized.
So if someone wanted to go out there and kick a soccer ball with their child or pitch softball with their daughter, that would be fine.
Absolutely. Yeah, we encourage that.
Yeah.
Like some do not get off and work and go out there and play a little 7-on-7, you know, so that wouldn't,
Absolutely.
wouldn't bother none of that.
Yeah.
That's my only concern, because I'm glad that you explained it, because that's the only problem I had, you know, for things that, we do see a lot of that in the morning time.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a broad statement, so it just needed to be defined
Thank you for
exactly what that
clarifying.
means.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad you
Yeah.
clarified.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
And actually, I'm going to quote you, I think, But when we had that same discussion, because of a concern that was brought up, his words to me were, we encourage free play. So we don't want to do anything to thwart that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for putting this together.
Thank you all.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you all.
Item 16, Joe Frank, you want to talk about that for a second?
Okay. With most federal projects, especially with this ARPA money, we've got to notify several agencies of what we're doing and get their comments back on it. In the past, the jobs we've done have been on our existing water plant, existing treatment plant, putting in a water line down a right-of-way, which has been disturbed. So I had to contact several agencies about the new water plant out on Bayou Road and about the elevated water tank there on the Madison Lakes property. And I got a comment back from them, from the one agency, saying we were okay on the, I guess, gravel pit site because they felt like it had been disturbed enough. But on the Bahia Road site, of course, they looked at it, decided it was a pasture, didn't look like it had been disturbed. So we have to hire a professional archaeologist to do a study to make sure we're not disturbing anything that we're not supposed to disturb. In the past, we've done this before. We've used Brian Hicks when he was with the museum. He was certified. I don't see his name on the list. They've sent me a long list of people that are certified to do the work, names of people from New York to St. Louis to New Orleans. I mean, there are a couple of them in Memphis. So we've got to do that to keep going on that project.
Can I have a motion to give him approval to hire the archaeologist?
Motion.
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Okay. Item 17, so the approval to amend the boring ordinance, Chris is going to explain it to us and why we need to do it. And I'll just let him do all of that explaining.
All right. Thank you. We're here tonight to request approval for changes to the boring ordinance. Pardon me. So two things on that. One, we're adding a definition in there, which is simply the definition of utility easement. And so that defines it in the definitions and then uses it throughout the contract to broaden the intent of the true meaning of the ordinance, which is to protect our infrastructure for any work being done in the city streets, right-of-way, and utility easements. So the second part of that is regarding fees. Currently, franchise holders, or in the past, have been exempt from any permitting fee. So we've been able to renegotiate contracts with both C Spire, Comcast, and Atmos. And going forward with, if we can strike this language in the ordinance, we'll be able to charge the permit fees to reimburse the city for the use of our right-of-way and our city services in doing it.
Any questions? If there's no questions, can I have a motion to approve the amendment to the boring ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work on that. Lee.
Commend Chris on this too. We put this ordinance in place before he got here, but since being here and working on it, really diving into it, he has made it absolutely his own. Takes pride in everything he does with it, and I just want to publicly thank him for it. Couldn't work without him.
I second that statement.
Thank you.
Okay, item 18, is there a motion on the utility adjustments?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the utility docket adjustment. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. 18 is remarks. Alderman Miller.
Yeah, I want to really commend the mayor or the board because you're doing something tonight that I wouldn't do. Tonight is the marriage anniversary. And I'll be married 50 years this year. I know I ain't gonna tell my wife I'm gonna be chairing a board meeting with nothing really pressing. So we want the public to thank you, and I really need to slap you too, saying, but you need to be, and that also we thought about, we ain't got no money, but we gave you a card though.
Oh, thank y'all. I appreciate that. And I got special permission to chair the meeting tonight. And
But I wouldn't ask for no permission.
Well, thank y'all, and as soon as somebody says adjourn, I'm heading out the door and taking Christie to dinner.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. We are now adjourned.